farmer and never a reactionary. And as I was sitting on my 110-acre farm sitting behind the computer doing some research, I was thinking, oh, you silly old fool, here you are doing this research. And after listening, I love my clean, fresh water on my farm, but there is a frack well within a mile of my farm in Jefferson County, Ohio, which means I'm not exempt from any of the horror stories that I've heard here today. And I tell you what, folks, I've never been a scaredy cat, but I'm like Pogo. We have seen the enemy, and he is us. We're the ones who sell the land and take the profit, and then we complain because we suffer from frack water. I'm ready to go home and shoot myself. And as I say, I've never been a reactionary. I'm giving the EPA a call to do two things. First of all, thank you, Dick Cheney. The 2005 U.S. energy policy exempts natural gas activities from local oversight. Please, get the local oversight in there. We need that. Also is exempt, this act is the Natural Gas Act, Recovery Act, is exempt from the Safe Drinking Water Law of 1974. Why should it be? It shouldn't be. That's my call to the EPA. Get these exemptions gone and get us back to the United States that we love and would like to live in and not die of poisons. Yes.
Well drillers. In June 2007, Dominion Gas asked if they could drill 2 wells, vertical wells on our property. I said no. They told me I was under at least from 1921 that they would use eminent domain and begin drilling. They promised all water would be protected, and if damaged or lost, the water would be restored to the quality and quantity I had prior to drilling. I lost my water well, a spring and a pond that the cattle drank from its bottom. As the drilling progressed, spilled frack water ran from the well site into the pasture on the pond. I asked DEP if this water was safe. The DEP representative said they dump it in the fields in West Virginia. Between April 2008 and 2009, I lost 10 calves. 8 were stillborn, 1 had cleft palate, 4 were blind. 2 had white eyeballs without pupil or irises. I also lost a 2-year-old heifer. When I told DEP about the calves, they said, that's a farmer's luck. I fenced off the pond in 2008 to prevent the cows from drinking it. I haven't lost any calves since 2009 of January. 5 water wells were dug before they found water. The new drinking water was dug 30 feet from the manure pile, where the manure pile has been for 20 years. The water is so salty we cannot drink it or cook with it. DEP says the water is salty because we are not using it, and that it meets federal standards. Dominion canceled the Culligan contract, and we are paying for drinking water since October 2009. I request that the gas companies be held accountable for the problems they caused. The terrorizing, the threats, harassment I've experienced on my own property is intolerable. They drilled the gas, left, and I am stuck with all the problems. Clean water is more important than gas. I have been informed by Dominion and DEP that all were done and DEP signed off on all further liability. Thank you.
15 is Mr. Ron Coolin, also a farmer and local landowner. Sir?
Thank you for being here tonight. Folks, one thing that I have not heard here, one thing that I have heard is all the problems, and I go around and I've dug up a lot of problems. I see the people that have lost water, people that have lost cattle, and what you have to do here is, it's very simple, you just follow the money. The DEP hasn't done their job. We need EPA, we need federal regulation, we need to have these people policed from cradle to grave. Did we have problems with the Mon River before they came? Did we have problems with Dunker Creek before they came? Did we have problems with the Beaver River, which you folks probably aren't aware of? Because they're dumping up in advanced waste up in Newcastle. I call on these people, I sell heavy equipment for a living. I call on the water authorities. They've had issues in Beaver County now for 2 years. They couldn't figure out why their TBS levels were so high. Why? Because they're dumping. Now their TDS levels are high, they put chlorine in, their trihalomethanes go up. Now they're taking the trihalomethanes out, and they're going to put in, or they're not going to put chlorine in, they're going to put in chloramine. Now they sent letters out to all the folks in that area that the chloramine, if you're on dialysis, you have to consult your physician. And don't put it in your fish tanks. Now we have problems here, and also what you need to know, this isn't the type of gas wells that they drill. I worked in the oil and gas industry. I have 6 years experience in it. They use doubles, they use singles, pull downs. They're using triples here. They're using high pressure. This is big. Everything here is big. And they're intermingling and connecting our layers. What has to be done? Again, it's very easy to find out. It's very easy to trace. Just follow the money. All these people that are complaining and crying out, why isn't the DEP, why isn't our governor, why isn't our Attorney General coming to talk to these folks? They ignore them. We need the EPA for federal regulation.
Thank you, sir.
Brine water is routinely being deposited at the local wastewater treatment plants in the Monongahela River. How safe is the water released back for consumer use from these plants? We are not aware of all the chemicals used and produced in the drilling process, so we don't know what chemicals to test for before the drinking water is released back for consumer consumption. This contaminated frack water is routinely seen being dumped in many of our backyard creeks. People are not educated on who to contact when they see these atrocities. Who does one call when they see the residual waste trucks dumping frack water into our streams in Uniontown, Marianna, Waynesburg, Library, and famously into Dunkard Creek and many other streams? There is no one to call. By the time someone gets there, the actor is gone. These frack trucks have been seen driving without license plates, so they cannot be identified. One cannot call the police to report illegal dumping because the trucks do not have plates for identification. Many of these chemicals used in the industry are endocrine disruptors. How do these chemicals affect the developing fetus? Studies have shown that these endocrine disruptors can cross through the placenta barrier. Fetuses accumulate these chemicals in higher concentrations than their mothers do because the immature liver and kidneys can't excrete them as well as adult organs do. This would explain why local calves born after their mothers consumed contaminated drinking water were born with severe deformities while the mothers were not immediately harmed. And I would like to make one more quick comment. People seem to laugh when the woman in the front of the room commented on the prostitution and drugs. That is a fact, and you can go to the local police departments and read their press releases. There was also a study done in Colorado, an independent study on the crime rate, the STDs that are brought in. That is a fact. And it is our responsibility as residents of this state to educate ourselves, and it is, as far as the consequences with the drilling, and it is your responsibility to protect those who cannot educate themselves.